All right, welcome back to the Pure Playbook. I'm Dr. Dustin Boston with Dr. Nate Merhutt. We have a very special guest on this podcast. This one's super cool. This will be the first professional athlete that we have had on the podcast. So, well, no, that's not true. We've had a couple other ones. This will be the third or fourth, actually. So, Joakim.
I'm a professional athlete. What are you talking about? No.
Joakim Nilsson is here with us from Sweden, which is super cool. I'll let you tell a little bit your story. I'll let Dr. Nate kind of dive into this, but this will be cool. This will give you some insights into the student athlete playbook as far as even going through levels, going through trials, tribulations. We're going to talk about a whole lot. We're going to have a lot of fun on this podcast, but without further ado, I'll toss this to Dr. Nate and let's get after it. Let's share some stories.
So I'll just preface this that we have always and probably always will butcher his name because we just asked him actually how he's supposed to say it in Swedish, and he can kind of let you know on that. But I did ask him to be on the podcast if he was willing to. We've been seeing him for some things that we may or may not talk about today, but it's been great having you in the office. It's been a great experience, I think, for all of us, as well as I think it's been really cool for a lot of our student athletes to see someone like you in the office. And I know a lot of them look up to you, and that's kind of cool to see. I don't know if you notice or not, but there are some times where they're just like, oh, is he here? And you just have a good presence, one in the office as well as I think in the St. Louis region in general. So we appreciate that. We appreciate you coming onto the podcast and doing this today. But we just kind of want to talk. We want to see, show people that you are just a person, and talk a little bit about your story on how you got to where you are. And then we'll throw in a couple other fun things to discuss as well. But let's just start on one, who you are, where you came from, and what it is that you do.
Yeah, give us like the 3-minute rundown of how you end up from Sweden to St. Louis.
Oh, 3 minutes. First of all, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. My name is Joakim Nilsson, so that's how we pronounce it. I'm 31 years old. I'm from a city called Härnösand in Sweden. So my soccer career began actually, if you go back when I was 15 years old, I was in a decision between choosing team handball or soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry if I say football, because that sounds as a... And the thing was, I was actually a lot better in team handball. So it was a tough decision for me. I love playing those both sports. I played team handball in wintertime and soccer in the summertime. But since my brother used to play professional soccer, he had a great career, played for the national team. I always felt like, soccer probably was closer to my heart, I'd say. So that's why I chose to go to, I guess you can say high school, soccer high school in a different town. So my hometown is 20,000. So it's like a village. This town was a bit bigger, but just 35 minutes away. So it was not far away from home. City called Sundsvall. We also had a team I believe they were in the first division when I came there. They got relegated, but I started training with those guys when I was 16. Got my first professional contract when I was 17, and played there for probably 6 years, I'd say 5 years before going to my second club in Sweden, a team that is one of the 5 biggest clubs in Sweden. And did 3.5 years there, played pretty well, and then we moved to Germany and Zweite Bundesliga, as they say in Germany. The second Bundesliga, so second tier, and got promoted right away. Awesome. So the first year, which was amazing. Had 2 years, fantastic years in Germany before moving to St. Louis. That's around 3 minutes, right?
That was good. No, absolutely.
Right on. Give me a little bit more insight. I think a lot of our athletes would want to hear from like a mindset standpoint. When you're, 15, 16 years old and, you have the goal to play at a very high level and already are playing at a high level at that age. What's your mindset? How do you stay on track with that kind of stuff? Because obviously at that age, your brain's not fully developed, and then two, I'm sure looking back, you're like, yeah, I probably could have done some things a little bit differently. But take us through that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was important when I moved to that city with a lot of more experienced coaches. I kind of realized that I take that knowledge and embrace it in a way that I didn't have the opportunity in my hometown as much. So, I mean, I started training with 15, 16-year-olds that was on the same level as me now. I kind of understood that they are pretty good. They too, like they are very talented.
Yeah, there's competition
and how can I like show that I am one of those guys who wants to belong in the first team more than the others. And for me, that my mindset was always that I wanted to kind of challenge myself every training to be the best, to always improve and try to be the best in the group, whether it was, we call it like under 16 or under 19 or under 21 that I played with, like always try to challenge yourself. I kind of understood pretty early that was the mindset I needed to be, if you can say, successful in this sport. And I saw a lot of players who might have been a lot more talented, better, if you can say that, at that age, but they didn't have that. And I saw that, if I was here, they were here. Kind of the gap was closing up, which gave me motivation. And I understood like, oh, that kind of mindset, it seems to be working. So and then eventually I was the one belonging to the first team, and you saw those guys, some of them quit early, and some of them
I think you bring up a good point, and as the saying goes, hard work beats talent every day of the week, right? So I think you're right. There's a lot of us that kind of live by the mindset that somebody's always better than you. And whether you see it or not doesn't matter. But when you do see it, you talked about that gap. So if you have that gap and it's like, man, these guys are really good. Like, I don't know where I stack up, but you're talking about that mindset. What are some of the things that you did notice? What did you put into action? You had the mindset that I want to be the hardest worker. I see who I'm up against. How did you literally fill that gap? What are some of the things you did in order to, whether it's communication or working out, or what are some of the things that you did on the field to bridge that gap?
Yeah, I think
on the pitch. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, whether it was in the gym or doing like runs after, I tried to kind of compete in a way of like that guy. He does, now I say meters, but like he did 1K meters. Maybe I can do 1.1. Like always trying to push the limit and try to. Some days I couldn't reach. I couldn't be the best, but I really tried to. And in the gym also, we were, I don't know, lifting weights. Sometimes you did plyometric stuff. You had numbers. You tried to get a percentage a lot better. Like each week, I try to improve that. And you saw that the guys who didn't really care, they had the same numbers every week. And that's something that I try to, find stuff that during the training week. Is this something that you can improve? Is this something that you can be better at and challenge yourself in a way? So that's something I think I did better than others. Sure, if you can say that.
Yeah, skill only gets you to a certain level, and then from there, I think a lot of it has to do with your determination, your mindset, and then how that can set you apart from everybody else. Because that's where the coaches and the scouts and everybody else is going to see. It's like when you get to that level anyway, there's tons of skill. Everybody's got the skill to be at that level, but it's a matter of, who's got the drive, who's got the mindset, who's got the knowledge of the game even. That's even important, because you could have all the skill in the world, but if you don't know, how to play your position and how to read everybody else on the field, then, or even be a team player for that matter, then you're not going to be the one that's in. So I think that goes a long way, because a lot of our athletes right now, they are working on that skill set. And kind of that's where their focus is, as opposed to some of the other things about the mindset, learning the game and kind of figuring that out. Whereas one thing we talk to our athletes a lot about is when they are injured, it's like, okay, now what can we work on that you haven't been working on before? And is it the mindset? Is it, how you can, put yourself into very stressful or high stress scenarios and still, do well at that level? And so that's something we'll address with our athletes, because the skill side of things, they're getting, trained every single day, multiple times a day. And that's not something they're lacking in on that part of it. So we try to address some of the other things here.
So before we kind of head down into the next point, one thing I do want to ask you is kind of let's put you back into your 15, 16-year-old mindset. Pretend you don't have any of the experience you had now. I would like to see if you can pull out of that mind of yours, what was it like being a 15 or 16-year-old, realizing that you have an opportunity to play at a very high level very young? Was that something that you always strived for? Is that something that just kind of happened and you were like, whoa? And then what was the lifestyle like being 15 or 16 and being that class of player?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, since my brother used to play, and so seeing him, I mean, I saw pretty much every game that he played since I was 8-9 years old, and I understood pretty quick that this is something that I want to do. So when I got the chance to go to that school, I understood that, yeah, now I got to take this chance. There's a lot of experienced coaches, and like I said, I try to embrace and to take everything, that the knowledge that they have, and put it out on the field. Because I mean, at that age, you're lost. I'm moving. Like my first time, I was. I mean, I couldn't cook. I couldn't do anything at all. Laundry. I remember I brought the laundry back home to mom's. So I mean, to focus on the soccer part was hard at that point. But like I said, I really wanted to give it a chance, and that's why I all the leaders, all the coaches, what they said, I really tried to understand what they were talking about and put that out on the field.
How different was maybe your 15, 16, 17-year-old life compared to just being 15, 16, 17? Was there anything you had to give up? Was there anything you were excited about that you got to experience that maybe others didn't? But what did that look like?
Yeah, in that age, it's a tricky age, because I don't like to talk about sacrifices. I like to talk more about like choices, because I wouldn't choose different. Like now I'm 31, I'm looking back at the time. I had friends at that point that starting to go out late. Some were partying, and they were sleeping bad, they were eating bad, and I kind of understood, like, that's not the way you should do, right? If you want to be a professional. So, I mean, I'm not saying that I didn't stay up late. I did that as well also, but I understood, like, if I was up to 1 a.m. and I had a training 8:30 the next morning, I felt really bad the next morning. It felt like I just wasted that training. So I kind of understood, like, that I can't do that. If I want to give this a chance, I gotta be professional. I mean, I want to be better. Once again, I wanted to do that better than what my teammate or friend did. And so I had to give up those parties, if you can call it that. But I mean, I wouldn't change that.
Yeah. No, I like what you said there. I mean, not talking about sacrifices, and it's more choices than it is sacrifices. I need everybody to listen to that.
Yeah, definitely. Let's get a little bit into next of what any athlete is going to deal with throughout any of their career, and that's just injuries in itself. So obviously you've dealt with injuries. A lot of our student athletes that are in here because they're dealing with injuries. But talk a little bit about that, the process of it. Obviously, you're still playing at a very high level, and how you've kind of gone through that process of dealing with certain injuries. If you want to get into detail, you can. If you don't, you don't have to. But what has that process been through your career?
I'd have to say that I've been lucky until actually I was 28 to not have to deal with a lot of injuries. I think I had 3 meniscus surgeries, but more of a cleanup. Is that what you say? Like not major ones.
Right.
so I've been pretty lucky with that. But when I was 28 when I came here, I believe, I had my first real big one. They saw that the cartilage in the knee was damaged, so I had to undergo surgery, which was a transplant. Oats is what they call it. Transfer transplant. Which was a big one, and I remember the worst the doctor said when I first had the meeting before deciding that this was the option we would have to do. He said that 30% of the guys who does this, they don't return on the field. So I mean, I like I said, I never had dealt with any really big issues, and then those words really hurt, and I mean, I'm getting emotional just talking about it, because I felt like, oh, this could have potentially been my last game when I was 28. But the surgery was successful, but it took me 15 months from game to game to get back on the field. So yeah, that was rough. It was it's been a lot of up and downs, a lot of setbacks, and I still deal with issues, absolutely. But it has also given me a lot, perspective on life, on what's important, and the gratitude of being able to be out there and play, because that's what I love to do. And I might be 31, but I still feel like I'm 19. I really want to be out there again and play.
Wishing I was from Sweden. You look like 19.
Yeah. So no, it has been rough. I have to say that.
Yeah. What's the biggest piece of advice you would give to some of these younger athletes that deal with something as severe or something that could potentially, one, change their outlook in their career, and even potentially even just take them out of the game forever, because you faced that at one point?
Yeah, I'd have to say, for me, my family has been, I mean, number one. Like that has been the most important thing, to have, you have the soccer part, you're injured, but you gotta get energy from something else. I put down the work. I know a lot of athletes here doing that, and you have to do that, absolutely. But when you come back home, you need energy from others, whether it's friends or family. So that is the one thing that I would recommend to prioritize, to not get too disappointed in what you're dealing with. I mean, it's hard, but if you can at least get energy from someone else, that means a lot, and has meant a lot for me. But then obviously, I think whether it's the knee, it's the foot, it's the back, like, see guys with experience now. I saw you guys, what is that? Is that 3 months ago
About
now?
3 months, yeah.
And before seeing you guys, I mean, I knew that I had a cartilage that was injured, but I didn't know about how the importance of the function in the body. And like, there's a lot of things that you can do to prevent the pain going down to the knee, and to find people who knows about their stuff, because there's a lot of examples like you guys that has a lot of experience and knowledge, and I think that is something where you should start.
What would you say the hardest thing was as you were going through that time, and you were going through, from game to game, that 15 months? What would you say the hardest thing was that I'm going to flip it and say the hardest thing you had to deal with that you're proud to overcome? I'll leave it on a positive. What was the hardest thing you had to deal with that you overcame?
I still think that those words that the doctor said, like, you might have played your last games. And I told myself, no, it's not going to be my last game. So like everything, I had weeks where I felt I was flying the first couple of weeks. Then I had weeks that I felt like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do this. But I kept telling myself, no, I'm going to overcome. I'm going to prove that it's possible to get back on the field. So that's the one thing that I'm most proud of. Like 15 months later, I stood there on the field, and and I did a lot of work in the gym, a lot of hours, but I proved that it was possible.
Would you say it was harder to overcome the physical side or the mental side?
Mental for sure, 100%. I mean,
I didn't want to assume I would know what you say, but
I mean, I'm coming in. Some days you felt like, why am I here? Like, I mean, I couldn't walk. Like the first couple of months, I barely could walk. Like, how am I gonna go to a point where I can run? I can do cuttings. I can jump. Like, is that gonna be possible? Like telling yourself over and over again, like, it might be a little bit better tomorrow. It might be a little bit tomorrow. And some days it was. Some days it was the opposite. And the mental part of that was it's tough.
One thing I did ask you if we could ask you this, because I didn't want to put you on the spot if you didn't want to talk about this, but I want you to let some of these athletes know, whether they're in here already or they're potentially ones that are going to be coming in here, and also not to bash or downgrade any of the other care that you've received at other places, because you've received a lot of good care at a lot of other places. But what kind of, after we did the initial evaluation, what pulled you into this place and said, this is something that I think I should do, as well as you went through the process, what did you get from everything that we've done here so far? And why should all these athletes that are in here already, why should they really value what they're getting here versus some of the other care? Because a lot of people think at the professional level you get access to anything and everything, and you may be able to speak on that, on if that's true or not, but why did you look outside of the organization and seek out someone like us?
That's a good question. Like you said, I've had a lot of good care, but my injury has been special. It's not very common. And I came to a certain point where I felt like I've been trying pretty much everything that I've been told and everything that I've done at the facility, or and it doesn't seem to work. So that's the main reason why I tried to see if there was an opportunity to think outside the box. And then I had an evaluation, is that right? With you guys, and you told me about the function in the body and how the importance of it, going from the foot, the ankle, up, like the spine, everything up to the head. Like, and I was like, makes sense. Makes sense. And after a couple of weeks, I started to feel, I told you today also, like, especially like the neck, what's going on? Like, when you have stiffness for years, you think that's just how it is, that's just how it's going to be. And then after a couple of weeks with all the adjustments, I felt like, no, this is how you're supposed to feel. And we looked actually today also from the results between the, how long is it between the?
So we did about 90 days between our initial evaluation and today. And we retook his structural x-rays, did some motion studies, and also redid the pure athlete evaluation, and just showed him the changes from day one to now. And you can speak on that.
No, it's like I said, I've had a positive feeling in my body, like since I started with this, but then also being able to see with the x-rays and like the results, it's actually giving me something, and it's I can't thank you enough of and this is just the start also, so I'm looking forward ahead, and I understand it now, the importance of the function in the body more than before.
Someone that gets it.
No kidding. Well, and like you said, it's like, all of the care, and even, I mean, even here in St. Louis, the staff there, and we all collaborated very well together.
They're great over there.
And, kudos to them for being able to, like, hey, we'd love to know what you guys get, and their willingness to be able to collaborate with us, because I 100% believe we look at things probably, and you could probably agree with this, that we do look at things from a different perspective and from a lot of different perspectives. And so that's pretty cool. And we're just as grateful for you to be able to step out of the box too and do this, because there's two ways we typically go about this. And unfortunately the scale is tipped towards reactive when it comes to any healthcare in life. It's like, when do we start to take care of things? when they hurt or when they give us an issue or give us a symptom. And what we are trying to do, and you get the culture of this now too, is it's like, okay, the Pure Athlete is all about physical, mental relationships. You've spoke on all of those already without even knowing it, but also to the injury prevention side of it, you know, and can we prevent everything as athletes? No, absolutely not. Not going to happen. We don't live in a bubble. However, would you say there's some things that we probably can be doing beforehand to mitigate as much as possible some of these injuries? I would say so. So yeah, I mean, absolutely. You're still young. Yeah. You're still 19 and you've got plenty of time left. So yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, it's super good, but yeah, I think there's a lot of things already that you've hit on, whether it's been injury or mental or some of your experience, and very little about what it actually takes, whether you're 16 or whether you're coming out of college 22 and drafted, that this is real. Right? You're not on a pedestal because you have a professional contract. And I'm just going to go ahead and say this myself. Like, you're not just a soccer player. You are a top tier in the league kind of player. You're not, you're not just on the roster. Right. Yeah. And so, I mean, I hope people that are listening to this, they share it and they share it with their kids and they attach to a little bit of your story, because it's like, this is a very small look into what it takes, but you're already speaking on things that not a lot of people truly talk on or are vulnerable enough to talk about. So it's super good.
Yeah. One of the last things I want to touch on and ask you about with your own personal routine before we get into a little bit of kind of fun stuff, rapid fire, is talk a little about on recovery. And, when we talk about recovery, we talk about mental, physical, nutritional, like different aspects of recovery, not just the rest after a game or rest after a practice. What are some of the things, and whether it's in here or outside of here, that's completely fine. But what are some of the things that you've found are the best things for you in all those categories for recovery?
And keeping in mind, a lot of who you're going to talk to right now it's not that they choose to do this. Yeah. It's that they don't know what to do. So it's like, recovery day. Kick back, Mom, I need a Gatorade. Like, no, talk about what this looks like.
Yeah. Recovery for me, I mean, first of all, sleep is important. I mean, we're all different. Some need 8 hours, some need 9 hours. But I'd say for me, when I train a lot, I play a lot of games. I mean, I need good 9 hours of sleep. Then with kids, it's a bit harder to get sometimes. But I try to get my hours for sure. The nutrition part of it is crucial also. I mean, obviously, I have cheat meals. That happens, and I eat bad at some days, but I don't do it very often. I'd say that. Like, I know what works for me. I know where I get the best fuel, and that is also something that's hard. Like, how are you supposed to know what's good for you and not? And that's, once again, I feel like that's something you should look up. And what works for you. But and it depends what kind of sport you play. But eat well for sure. Then for me, not focus too much on the soccer part has also been good on off days.
Yeah,
like to spend time with your family, or I love golf, for example. Like, do stuff that can keep your head out of don't think about soccer for 1 or 2 days. Also can be right. I mean, for me, it's really important. So find something that you like. But for me now, when you get older, also like that, you see that the body is not reacting the same way after a 90-minute game as like when you were 20. Like, and that's something I might regret a little bit, that I didn't take care of the body as good as I do now. Like a day after a game, I used foam roller, is that what you call it, a lot. That, I mean, for me, myofascial treatment release has been very important for tight muscles. Some like ice bath. I am not really an ice bath person. I like more the heat. But there's people who like that. So once again, whatever you feel works for you. But being a bit active also on an off day, like a day after a game, like, I'm not saying that you should go out and jog for an hour or so, but at least don't lay in the couch for a whole day after
the golf ball.
Yeah. So that is pretty much my routines after games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. Well, I think that's good insight. I think a lot of those athletes will see that, one, how important that is to you, especially like you said, don't, take it for granted when you're younger and your body's resilient and bounces back. It's like, start taking care of it now so you don't regret it later on. That's a good point to make. I'm sure I really like that. Okay, so let's have some fun. A little bit of rapid fire kind of things. We can both throw some questions back and forth, but don't have to be anything elaborate on the answer. But again, we just want to show, you are a person, you are a dad, you have kids, you have a wife, you have a family, you like to do stuff out in the community. We love when you interact with a lot of the kids that are in here, and whether it's Dustin's kids or some of the other athletes. It's fun to see that part of your personality come out too. So my first question is, favorite food or favorite thing in Sweden that you miss that's not here in the US?
Can I only choose one? Okay. Yeah. I mean, it changes, but right now it's Swedish meatballs. We call them köttbullar. Yeah, but those are not food. I mean, it's close. No. I mean, you gotta have a problem.
Know how to make Swedish meatballs?
Yeah.
So
we'll have some next week.
The thing is, like, it's not the same. We call it like a heavy cream sauce, like a brown sauce. It's hard to get here because you need some ingredients that I can't find here, but it's possible to do it, to make here. So I'd say köttbullar, as we pronounce it.
Okay.
I'll go back and forth.
Well, yeah. So then I was going to go with the cheat meal. You already were talking about cheat meal. What's the cheat meal?
Shake Shack.
The
whole family.
Yeah, here we go.
That's like calories after a game is also. I mean, it's good to get it. So sometimes I add a Shake Shack on a day after a game.
Yeah. Do you have any superstitions, pre-game rituals or superstitions?
I'm not very superstitious. I have.
Are you little stitious?
I have a small routines, like how I tape my shin guards before a game, going out to a game. I'd say that's. But no, no.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I've always said that too. I'm not very superstitious. I might have a routine, like when I step into the batter's box or stuff like that. But yeah.
I used to put 4-leaf clovers in my shin guards.
No way.
Like on the practice field, we had a patch that you can always find 4-leaf clovers. So I always had 2 that I put in my shin guards for practicing games.
No, okay.
I guess it didn't get me anywhere.
If I can find a clover next time, I'll say.
Who is the hardest person you've had to defend?
Yeah. I would like to say like one of the best players, like Haaland, Messi, Suarez, but that's not true because then I would be lying. In a single game, the toughest opponent I had is Thuram. He plays in Inter right now. I faced him when he played for Borussia Mönchengladbach in the German Bundesliga. A beast.
Right.
Like he was. I think they won. I'm ashamed, but they won, I believe, 5-0. He did. I mean, he was all over the field. He was good target player. He was fast. He was good dribbling. So that was a nightmare to play against him. I mean,
Made it look bad.
Yeah. So.
Well, and I guess we should let everybody know, like, what position do you play?
I'm a center back.
Yeah, so you're a center back.
So I faced often the goal scorers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Trying to prevent them from scoring.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing about St. Louis?
I'd say the people in general. I mean, it's been great since I came here, and it's a lot different to especially Germany, because Germany you have kind of a circle of friends and the ones you know, and it's hard to break into that. And it's the same in Sweden, I'd say. Also, here you're so more open-minded. It's easy. I tell my friends in Sweden about the first week I was here. I was grocery shopping with my wife. I had my 2 kids in one of each hands, and my wife, she was unloading the groceries or packing the groceries into the trunk. And this guy, 50 years old, starting to help her. And my first thought, and I'm ashamed of this, what are you doing? Do you want something out of this? But then I started to realize, like, oh, this is this is nice. This is how you're supposed to do. Like, I mean, in Sweden, that's not very common.
Right.
I mean, I could definitely do that, but it's not very common. So, I mean, people in general here in St. Louis are amazing.
Yeah, it's a good perspective. I hope everybody listens to that, because no matter where you go, you can find the worst in everything. But it's like, I think there's a lot of locals here that are like, oh man, well, this needs to be better. No, and I want to move. And it's like, then you got somebody like you that's like, man, this place is great.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, have that perspective more often, would you please? What would you be doing if you weren't a professional soccer player? I've asked you this before, but
yeah, I mean, right now, I have to say golf player. I think I play golf, but if it's not sport, I also like the body. Maybe something, I don't know exactly what, but with the experience now I had, like it and everything I've dealt with, I could see myself help others with. It doesn't have to be the same injury, but
it's cool. We're hiring.
Yeah. But it's so hard. Obviously, that's something that I've been thinking about a lot more lately because of the injury, and that I'm still having issues with it. But for me, it has always been, soccer.
Yeah, right.
I know it might sound down, but it's just how it's been.
So I will say, I'm going to call you out a little bit in a very nice way, and this is so true for any of you student athletes, any of you parents out there that have student athletes. So your answer in about 7 weeks' time changed. You remember what you told me the first time?
No, I don't remember. What was it?
Finance.
Fine. Oh yeah.
Not that you still don't have a love for finance.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about it. I could say
things do change, and that's cool. But that part of being real, and so I mean, even in that amount of time, you grab a hold of a passion, you can tie it to something you love, and so I mean, if it changes, it changes. That's super cool.
Yeah. As we wrap this up, one, we obviously want to thank you for sitting in on this and having the conversation. Two, we definitely are in your corner and wishing you the best of luck with wherever your career takes you with soccer and anything else beyond that. We also wanted to thank you you did gift us a signed jersey that
you got it over there.
We'll reveal it. Erica helped with this.
Erica did.
So we're going to hang this in our office for all of our athletes to see, so
that's awesome.
They can see that one, the place that they're in is also a place that someone at a very high level has also done the same stuff that they're doing right now with the tedious exercises and getting adjusted and coming in on a regular basis, and so and to see that it can be done
and it works,
and it works. I appreciate that. But yes, we're going to hang this up in the office. We appreciate you for giving this to us so that we can display it and share to our other athletes that there's an awesome relationship that can be had, as well as we were gracious enough to have the opportunity to help you.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that, the willingness to give us one of those. That is game worn. There's a hole in the bottom of it where I could see somebody tried to grab you. I don't know who it was, but but yeah, I mean, as we do wrap this up, is there anything that you would say or share with some of these student athletes or these families with just kind of best practices and best advice, things to not miss out on or things to consider? Is there any tips and tricks that you would like to give?
Like you were talking about, I mean, before stuff happens, I mean, now I'm talking injury prevention, like take care of your body, like we know that there's stuff that you can do to prevent it. And might not always be the case that you're lucky enough to not have injuries, but be serious about this stuff. And and also talk to the guys who knows you in this case.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Well, super appreciate you being here, man. I'm selfish and I hope you stay here, but if not, we're going to Sweden. Stay tuned. you've had quite a journey. I'm excited to see where you end up next. So make sure you follow him, follow where he ends up. I think we know, I have a hypothesis of what I think is going to happen, but I'm excited for whatever it is, because I'm going to come watch you play wherever it's going to be.
I love that.
And but thank you again. Super awesome.
Thank you,
we're going to play
you.
golf here soon. We'll get our wives together, and we'll just wives and kids can go do whatever they need to do. We'll go play some golf and have a cheat meal at Shake Shack. But all right. Well, hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see where this takes us. Thank you again. Join us next time on the Pure Playbook. See ya.